Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday live stream. So we've taken a couple of days off, a lot of things that are going on in the background, but today we had to come back for a very simple reason, because we wanted to let the healing begin as Celsius rolls out the ability to finally take our crypto off the platform. And instead of just talking about it and taking a look at different articles and things that were done, I used my own personal experience with what we went through, and I recorded everything. And I'm going to show you exactly how this is done, how to do this the correct way, how to avoid being scammed, and more importantly, as we roll this out, how to put into a cold storage device, which is something that we should have done the very first time, instead of getting screwed over by Celsius, Voyager, FTX, BlockFi. Take your pick; they're all in the same. So we'll take a look at that video. Then also we'll have a special guest on a little bit later, and we'll talk about what else is coming down the pipe. So without further ado, let's take a look at that video. So first thing is first, you're going to get an email. And right now I am in the United States. I'm in Puerto Rico. And you're going to get an email something like this. It's going to say from Stretto, Celsius Network. The thing about this you have to remember is this. There's going to be a lot of scams, a lot of phishing attacks and all those things. So when we're doing this, the thing you want to do is you want to click on the from for the email. And when you click on the from, it's going to tell you exactly where it came from, which is the whole point, right? So this one is actually from stretto-services.com, which is the official website. Also, a big thing to cue in on is if there's a link to say, download your crypto here on this special magical app, that's BS, and it doesn't take you anywhere except to Paintown. So don't do that, because this is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be from Stretto. And what you're going to notice is that as you zoom in here, you're going to see this is, first of all, I got two. One was Ethereum, one was Bitcoin, right? And up above here is my claim number. So what you're going to do is you're going to highlight that and copy it. And then you're going to go over to Venmo. Now, I have to make this crystal clear. You can do this if the option is on PayPal or on Venmo. Why did Rob do Venmo? Very simple. Rob did Venmo. I did Venmo because on my PayPal account, it is a business account. You cannot do this on a business account. What I would have to have done was create a separate PayPal account, which they would have let me do, and made a personal PayPal account. I didn't want to go through that process. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go through Venmo and do the same thing. But it is the exact same thing. When you do all this stuff, there's going to be a link. I'll show you exactly how this works. So I'm using Venmo in this example. Just know the reason why was because I didn't want to open up a personal PayPal account. I just want to use my personal Venmo. So hope that makes sense. So when you go to Venmo, you're going to see on the bottom right-hand corner, it's the same thing with PayPal. There's going to be a link for crypto, right? And if you first go into Venmo, you're going to be on the home screen. It's going to be all your contacts. I didn't want to show you guys that because there's no point. So just know that in the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to click on that crypto tab there. And then it's going to open up and there's going to be this nice, big, fat disclaimer or border or advertisement, or what do you want to call it. It's going to say Venmo and Celsius. Do you have a Celsius claim code? You can redeem it here. You're going to click on redeem the claim code. And then, of course, the one that we just copied, we're going to paste that right in there, right? So paste, bam, and there it is. Then you're going to put your date of birth, which I'm not going to show everybody my date of birth. What's the point? And then you're going to click on redeem Celsius account. Now you're verified. Next. Code is verified. Let's go. And then from here, it's going to say, okay, here's your terms and conditions. Yes, I accept. And you're going to read through all these things, right? As we should have done with Celsius, but we didn't. And then, of course, you're going to agree and continue. Now, again, same thing. It's going to ask me for my date of birth. Yeah, I was born on January 1st, 2005. So just so everybody knows now, I am, 9 years old. Yeah. So you're going to do all that, put the information in, your address and everything else, and then you're going to confirm it. Your corner is verified. Now let's confirm your identity. All right. So just so everybody knows, this is for everybody. This is part of the KYC AML process. I know some people say, this is ridiculous. Why do I have to go through all this stuff? Look, we've all done this for the exchanges. Don't think like we haven't, unless there's some crazy, shady exchanges out there. So this is the hoops you got to jump through if you want to get your money back. Kind of sucks, but that's what it is. And it's going to ask you for a driver's license, passport, blah, 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 right? So I picked my driver's license, and it's going to say scan the front of your card. There's my dog right there. And you're going to scan the front of your license. This is not me. This is McLovin from a classic movie back in the day. And then it's going to ask you to scan the back of your card, whether that be the passport or whatever else. You're going to do those two things. And then after that, after it's verified that piece, now it wants to see your face. So I got to stick my big, enormous head in this oval here, and it's going to verify it, right? A lot of steps to go through, but hey, I'm okay if I get all this stuff back. And it says, great, we got your claim info. Great. So that part was just for the Ethereum. Now, there's also going to be a Bitcoin part, right? The Bitcoin is a separate email. And again, we double checked with the email address. But again, same thing. We're going to copy this code right here. And if, of course, for the people at home, we're like, ooh, I'm just going to write this code down and copy it and try to do it. Sorry, Charlie, I've already claimed this, so good luck. And we come back here to Venmo. And we do the same thing, right? Redeem the code, stick the claim code in there. Again, it could be Venmo or PayPal. It's pretty much the same stuff. We're going to put a date of birth in and then press OK. Go through the whole stuff. Now, after all that is done, this is the great part, right? The great part is this. You can let the healing begin because you've got your Bitcoin and your sweet Ethereum, and it's coming back. And there it is in all its glory. Almost $5,000. It's pretty good. Of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, this isn't, of course, what I should have gotten if I just would have withdrawn it fast enough. But hey, lessons learned, right? And we got to do. So I have it here stuck in my Venmo or PayPal. Now the thing is this. How do I get this out of here? Because we got to learn from the mistakes, right? So we're going to click on that bottom right-hand corner. There's a little left and right arrow right there on the red arrow. You're going to click on that. And this is how you take things out because you don't want to sell it. You don't want to sell it here on Venmo, on PayPal. The fees are kind of ridiculous, right? And I want to send this someplace. So I'm going to click on send, not receive, obviously. This is where I'm going to go to Coinbase. Now, before we rip into this, there's a reason why I picked Coinbase to show everybody. And the reason was, it's because there's a way that things should be, and there's ways that things are gonna be. And the way that things should be is that we should all use a cold storage device, right? We shouldn't trust these people anymore. We all learned our lesson. However, there's gonna be some people that some didn't do it after they watched this video. And they're still gonna trust their centralized exchanges. So I can't leave you guys behind. So I'm gonna show you how this is done. And then I'm gonna show you how to put it into a cold storage device like you should have done. So again, there's a reason why we don't trust these guys in centralized exchanges. And there's a reason why I put these rules up and they've been stuck there for the last year and plus. It's all gone. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Everything's a scam until proved otherwise. Don't leave anything on exchanges. Don't use leverage. Take profits along the way. Very simple, right? Save you a lot of heartache. And of course, if you're not like, well, what should I do as far as cold storage? I personally use a Tangem. I use Tangem. I use Ledger, and I use EliPal. I got to do an updated EliPal video. But if you use the debit card or a credit card, you can use a Tangem. It's brain dead easy. And there's like thousands of different digital assets on there. I find it the easiest one to use. Just pick something. Oh, nice. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Low flying helicopter. Fantastic. Anyhow, that's what I do. Also, there's a link in the description where you can get 10% off with my code. Two or three cards. Looks very well. Anyhow, and also I did a video on this, so it makes it easy. Anyhow, so we are now in my Coinbase account, right? And I want to receive this Bitcoin from somebody. And that would be from my Venmo account. So I want to receive it. I'm going to click on receive. I'm going to copy this Bitcoin address. And if you want to copy that address right now and send me some Bitcoin, go right ahead. I have no problem. There's a big difference between a public key and a private key. That's a public key. Fantastic. Share it with all your friends. I have no shame. I will take all Bitcoin that's sent to me. Anyhow, we're going to copy that. And we're going to go back to our Venmo account. Again, we've already clicked on it. It was waiting for an address. This is the address. We stick that in there. That's where we're going to send it. And we're going to send maximum. Why not, right? Send the maximum. We're going to send it to Coinbase. And then we're going to send it to our cold storage device, just so I can show everybody. This is the crazy thing, though. I didn't understand this, but look at this. It takes 2 hours for the delivery of Bitcoin. Now, usually, blocks are produced every 10 minutes. So I don't know what's going on with Venmo or PayPal, but apparently it says it takes 2 hours. What does it say? Typically, enough blockchain confirmations happen within this time. All transfers can be affected by network conditions and may be delayed. I guess it's just a safety bubble. Whatever. So sure. So you're going to do that, and we're going to press yes. And great. You sent your Bitcoin. Check the progress. All right. Now, we got to deal with this Ethereum, right? Because we have the Ethereum. Now, here's what I want to show you. Ethereum, I'm going to show you the other way. I'm going to show you how to put this in a cold storage device. So again, same thing. We want to get our transfer buttons right there in the bottom right. We're going to send it. We're going to go to Tangent. We're going to open that up with my face. We're going to receive. And we're going to copy this code. Copy. Bing, bang, boom. And then from there, go back to Venmo. We're going to stick that in there. We're going to paste it. That's the right one. And what do we want? Maximum. Maximum ETH. Review transfer. And then again, this one says it's only 15 minutes. That's pretty good. All right. So I'm sending out my Ethereum, and it's going to my cold storage wallet where it should be. Great. Everybody's happy. Now, what am I going to do with that Bitcoin? Am I going to leave it on Coinbase? No. I just showed you, for all those people who don't have a cold storage wallet, which I know you're out there. Don't lie. It's okay. I did that for you, so you know, but you got to take it off the exchanges. So let's just do that real quick. All right. So let's get into my Tangent wallet. And let's receive some Bitcoin. Let's copy that code. Let's go to Coinbase. Let's send it. And let's paste that in there, right? Continue. And this right here, I put this in as a reminder. Always double check. I didn't do that in the first one. And I just want to make sure everybody knows this. Always double check the addresses that you're sending to. It'll save you a lot of heartache. So we're going to double check that one more time, just to make sure. 5 is a 5. Okay. Come back over here. Looks good. Now we're going to send the maximum. I've been buying a lot of Bitcoin, as you may see right now. It's about 10 grand. That wasn't what I got from Celsius. That was just a recent lump sum that I've done, because last week we talked about this. I said very specifically in last week's video on Sunday, I think this is a good time to lump sum. There may be some price appreciation. You should probably do this before the halving. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your dad or your financial advisor. This is what I'm doing. This is what I did. So every week I dollar cost average, and every week I send things out. I don't do it every day because for some reason, thanks to you ordinals, there's a high cost to transfer Bitcoin. So I waited, and of course, now I got some from Celsius, and I got some other stuff. And I'm going to transfer some stuff over. Click on send now. Oh, that's only $5. It's pretty good. And now it's going to ask me for my two-factor authentication. Again, it doesn't matter how much you make, it's how much you keep. Make sure you have this on. Google Authenticator is very simple. You download it from the store. I think I put a link in the description. I'll double check. Then you scan whatever the app is that you're using, and then you use the code. The codes are reset every 45 seconds. Correct me in the comment section. You enter that specific code, and then it authenticates you. So for me in this situation, whatever that code was, then off it goes. And then bam, I sent all the Bitcoin that was on the exchange. Now it's on safe and sound on cold storage, which will be Tangent. And that's it, step by step. So I hope everybody appreciates that video. So now before let me see something. Now we'll do a little Q&A, and we'll go from there. Let me make sure that I did this right. I'm live now. Maybe we got the times wrong. Let's do a little Q&A and go from there. There is one more thing I'd like to mention here, which is if we're taking a look at the different parts of this Celsius dispersal, there is a distribution calculator or calculation, and you can find that on Simon Dixon's X account. I linked that in the description. Also, if you're having any questions about like, well, what do I get here and what do I get there? What is this? What is that? You can click over here for Simon Dixon and go that route. And that'll help you kind of figure out what you're supposed to get and go on from there. And that's it. So let's see. Let's now answer a little Q&A and then we'll wait for the guest to come by. Let's see. Louise says, Tangent is your cold wallet. It's one of them. I have three. I have, like I said, Tangent, EliPal, and Ledger. If we're going to diversify into crypto, I might as well diversify into cold storage devices, right? Thanks, Darren. Meme says, one thing Puerto Rico does is you can have a virtual license registration on your phone via app. Sounds good. Jonathan says, you don't have to do any of that KYC BS with PayPal. All right. Then that's great to know. But, I mean, whatever it is. There was a question, though. Somebody said, anyone asked about how to receive Cardano? I don't think it's in the cards. I think right now it's Bitcoin, Ethereum. Now, Gil says, guys, make sure your PayPal has that ability to send to a wallet and not just to another person. I cannot send to a wallet for whatever reason. That doesn't make any sense. Unless it's PayPal account to PayPal account. But there should be a way to take things off. If not, hey, great. Then don't use PayPal. Just go through Venmo. I mean, if you want to get stuck on PayPal, you can. But it sounds like it might be. Let me know in the comment section. I'm not 100% sure on that one because I didn't use PayPal. Okay. K-Day says, Rod, let me tell you why I feel safe having my crypto on Coinbase. It's the only publicly traded crypto exchange, and I pay for Coinbase $30 a month for up to $1 million insurance on my crypto. Okay. Have fun. Doug says, I'm still waiting for that email. Oh, yeah, these things are being rolled out, I guess, in droves. A friend of mine, Diego, said the same thing. Like his girlfriend got it, but he didn't get it yet. So it's just going to happen as time goes on. And here's a question from Johnny. He says, hey, Rob, I've been trying to find out if anyone has a problem with Solana. On the Tangent wallet, for some reason, it's saying Solana is unreachable. Did you hear about this? This happened last week when Solana went down. I just checked my Tangent wallet before we came on, and all my Solana is there. And yeah, it seems like it's rectified. If you're having a problem with Tangent, also any app, it's the same thing. Just kind of do an upload or do an update. But I don't know if anybody else has it, but I seem to have. I'm so far so good. I can see my Solana. Cat with a K. What about the alts on Celsius? Let's ask the special guest when they come in. I'll star that. Ty Boy says, has Celsius started paying out crypto for non-US members? Apparently, they are just kind of rolling this out to, let me shut this down, to US first, and they're going to roll it out to non-US members. Don't know why. No idea. Can you show the Cardano risk level from Ben's site? I could. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Don't tell Ben I showed you this. Just audio is good. Hold on. Little lag here. I'll get it. All right. So Cardano, which I hold myself. Here's the risk levels. So right now, probably should want to look at this. Sorry. Kind of risk levels. So we can see here, and again, this is just all based on historical performance, right? As Cardano goes up or Cardano goes down, those risk levels, they will fluctuate a little bit. But as far as we know, since Cardano's been around since 2017, if I remember correctly, we take all the data from then to now, we can see that the risk levels, 0.0 risk, of course, is like there's no risk. If it goes to like 9 cents, you should probably pick some up. I can't say that's financial advice. Actually, I can't say that. Yeah. It might work out in your favor if it's at 9 cents. Maybe, who knows? And then right now it's at 0.54 level. Let me bring this over here. Yeah, this is what I want to see. 4.8. Yeah. Look at this one in the middle. This will make a little more sense. So, okay. So right now the risk level is 0.54. No problem. And we're right in the center, essentially, at 45 cents, somewhere around there. So what we're looking at is if you wanted to adjust for risk, I always take a look at like risk levels on the right. Looking around 0.75. At $1.50, maybe I might start thinking about taking some profits and going, you know what, $1.50 is pretty good. Now, what was the all-time high? $3? $2.97? Somewhere around there. All right. But Cardano's been pretty much sideways for so long that for us to get back to $3 is essentially at 0.9 risk because it's been there for so long. Not exactly at 50. I know people are shouting at the screen, it hasn't been at 50 cents or 45 cents forever. Yeah, but it's been pretty low for quite some time. Let's just call a spade a spade. So with this stuff, you're like, man, I would probably start taking some profits around 75, right? And then maybe around 8 at under $2, and then maybe at 9. So hope I answered your question. And now we're going to bring on the special guest. He who is the genius at finance, but horrible at technology, Simon Dixon.
Yeah. I got like the $1 million studio that always makes me default back to a webcam. And Rob, I'm not horrible at technology. It's like the curse of digital asset news. It only ever happens with you.
Oh, see, that's what it must be. That's what it must be. I don't blame you, man. Everybody's got to, hey, if you want to say it's a scapegoat, that's fine. I'm just happy you're here, buddy.
Yeah. You look at my live show, it's all perfect every week. And then I come on digital asset news and it all goes downhill.
That's because everything that's hard is worth it. So
yeah, there you go.
Well, so I'll just catch you up to speed. What we did is we went over a video and I showed everybody because, like you said in your tweet, it looks like America is being given preference for the Celsius creditors. So it rolled out to PayPal and Venmo. I showed everybody how it works with Venmo and how to like take it out, make sure it's not a scam, how to take it to Coinbase if you wanted to, and then also how to do it into a cold wallet, which is what I recommend nowadays, obviously, right? But and I show them because we're talking about distributions. So there's a couple questions for you already, but I showed everybody the distribution calculation. So like, yeah. So like, just real quick, tell people like just do like a quick breakdown. Like, what did we get? Because when I did it was like $5,000. Wasn't that much? Because I mean, I had over 6 figures on there, but I mean, I also had some in custody like a bonehead, and some loans, and it was all over the place. But
custody is good. So if you had funds in custody, you got the highest recovery.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, I know it wasn't 100 because I was like, where's the other so many tens of thousands of dollars. But I mean, it was one of those things where like I was telling people at some point, I'm like, hey, there's something going on. Someone put his name in custody. Like, idiot.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that's gone. So, Simon, give us a quick breakdown, if you would.
Yeah. Okay. So finally, we've been given everything we need to do our own calculations, which took 1.5 years to get there. But essentially, this is the first distribution. And the first distribution should be about 56% of your dollar claim, but about 26% crypto to crypto. So in a nutshell, if you had a Bitcoin, you're going to have 0.26 Bitcoin, but it's split into Ethereum and Bitcoin. And so, and so you'll get 2 distributions. So if you are on PayPal, you should get 2 codes, one to claim your Bitcoin and one to claim your ETH.
That would go in line with what Kat was asking me. What about the alts on sales? Because it sounds like they all kind of got rolled into Bitcoin or Ethereum and that was it, right?
Yeah. So the first thing to mentally get your head around is you don't have the coins you used to have. You have as soon as it went into bankruptcy, all of the coins became Celsius's property.
Yeah.
And you have a dollar claim. You have an entitlement to a dollar claim. And that's it. How was that dollar claim calculated? Well, it took the price of whatever crypto you had on the 13th of July, 2023. Was it 2022.
Yeah.
And multiplied it. So Bitcoin was 19,800 at the time. So if you had 1 Bitcoin, you have entitlement to $19,800. Then if you had 15 different coins, you just need to go through all the different coins at that price on that date, and it will tell you how much dollars you're entitled to out of this bankruptcy. So that's the first thing. Now you know how many dollars you're entitled to. Now the complication with Celsius is you may have had loans that would change your position.
Right.
You may have just been receiving interest, in which case you got a simple calculation. Or like Rob, you may have had some where it was custody, which means that you weren't receiving interest on that amount of money.
That's right.
And that was deemed to be property of the investor. So you kept title to it, but Maszynski lost a chunk of it. Okay. With Earn, it became property of Celsius and you received a dollar claim instead. So in the case of custody, if you had a Bitcoin, you'll have about 72.5% of that Bitcoin, and you get it back in Bitcoin. If you're in Earn, which is the vast majority of people, so custody and it only affects US as well. Custody wasn't available to non-US. It was created because the regulator said it's illegal for you to offer this service, and so Celsius just said, okay, we'll stop paying you interest and we'll call it custody. And then they updated the terms and conditions while they figured out what they're going to do. And then they filed for bankruptcy in that time.
Awesome.
So basically, you're meant to get about 56% of that dollar value in this distribution. So let's say you had a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You now got $19,800 claim. And if you multiply that by about 56%, 0.56, you end up with how much you should be receiving in dollars.
10K, 11K, somewhere around there.
So let's say 10K. Then they take the price of Bitcoin on the 16th of, is it February? Where are we? We're January, aren't we? 16th of January, 2024, which was the plan effective date. So they had to get a date where they just lock in the price of Bitcoin. And that was at about 42,300 or so. So based upon that $10,000 claim, they're going to say, if we paid you all in Bitcoin, you're going to get a quarter of that. You'll get a quarter of a Bitcoin, basically, because you've now got a $10,000 claim on a $42,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
From there, they said, chop it in half because we're going to give you half Bitcoin and half ETH.
So 5 and 5. Gotcha.
Hey, so that diagram is meant to walk you through the calculations of how to get what you should have.
Gotcha.
Now, there's a bunch of exceptions along the way that people are experiencing. One is, let's say you had a loan. Then what they would have done is they would have taken your collateral, multiplied it by the price when they filed for bankruptcy, and then they would have deducted how much you had left outstanding on your loan from that principal.
Mm-hmm.
And then that becomes an earned claim, which is subject to the same maths. So ultra complicated, unfortunately.
I mean, that was a pretty great explanation, honestly, Simon. So
okay,
if I can understand it, then everybody can understand it.
Yeah.
Hey,
what then about... there was a few other exceptions.
Okay, let's hear it.
If you have a claim worth $5,000 or less, mm-hmm. then you're just going to receive 70% of your dollar claim. So if you had less than $5,000 of Bitcoin, then you're going to get 70% of the dollar claim, and then you work through the same maths. Here's the price of Bitcoin on that date. Here's the price of ETH. And so I get 0.04 ETH or Bitcoin or whatever it is. So it's just 70% locked in. And that's now there was one crazy thing when you voted, mm-hmm. and the voting form walked you through about 15 different decisions.
Yeah.
Now, if you'd followed every step of the bankruptcy, then those 15 decisions is complicated enough anyway. But if you didn't follow along, it was like reading Chinese or Mandarin, because it was all in legally designed to protect you.
Yeah.
Designed to protect them, rather, by using all legal language.
Yeah.
And you could have ticked a box. And on that box, I'll give you another link if you're going on that. It's simondixon.com/club.
Yeah, I remember this is what we put out last time for everybody to vote. Was it club?
Yeah, this time club. I've updated it. So if so in this website, I've taken all the questions that everyone asked. And by the way, there's more to come. So over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, there's going to be more and more coming. So this is just distribution 1. And obviously most people are like, well, I'll take distribution 1. That's what I'm putting in my tax, and I'll write off the rest. And that's a good way to think about it. But there is a lot more to come. There was one gotcha, which people they should write to Celsius as soon as possible if they're in this situation. One of the items to vote on is, let's say you had a $25,000 claim.
Yeah.
Or you had a $6,000 claim, let's say. Some people might say, you know what, I don't want that 56% and shares and litigation and everything. I just want the simple 70%.
Yeah.
And so you could take your claim from 6,000 to 5,000 and become what's called the convenience class. What that means, convenience class means you have a claim of less than $5,000 and you get 70%.
Right. But can they do that? Can they do that now, Simon, or is that time's passed?
That's done. That's done. So that would have been in September. I think September the 18th it was.
Yeah, that's when we all voted. I remember, right?
Yeah. Now here's the problem: a bunch of people had, and I've seen people that had like $100,000 claim and ticked the box to be in the convenience class. And so they're like, why have I got less than 1%? Because they ticked the wrong box. And in that scenario, legally, there's nothing you can do. However, I have spoken to Celsius, and look, don't panic. You have got up to 1 year to withdraw and get your funds out. Now, don't wait that long. If for any reason you're trying to get an account open with PayPal or Venmo, and you got to do all sorts of crazy stuff, and Celsius has got the wrong address and it's got your date of birth and the email's not matching up and your code's not working, or you found, wow, I ticked that box and I wasn't meant to tick that box. You got up to a year, and what the legal team said to me, Kirkland and Ellis, the lawyers representing Celsius, is, look, right now we've got 100,000 tickets with a few staff. We're inundated. We don't have the team. We're going through them one by one. Even the lawyers that we're paying $2,000 an hour to are doing customer service.
I would do that too if I got $2,000 an hour.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. A great way to rack up the bills. But so the customer service is, But as long as you can evidence that you've been trying to resolve your issue,
Yeah.
and it takes a month or two, they're going to most likely be good about it and say, yeah, that was a genuine mistake. We understand. And they'll resolve it with you. You just won't get your money right now. Now, the good thing is it's not like the FTX and BlockFi bankruptcy where everything was converted into dollars and then you're trying your hardest to get out as fast as possible so you can buy Bitcoin because you think the market's about to rip. It's already in Bitcoin and ETH. You will receive the same amount of Bitcoin and ETH no matter what happens. And so whatever happens, if the price doubles, triples, quadruples from here, you're still going to receive the same amount of ETH, even if it takes you 3 months to resolve your issue.
That's pretty good. I mean, at least because we all make mistakes, right? Yeah. We know that. So let's say that I ticked the wrong box or I did something goofy. How do I just contact Kirkland & Ellis or can I just get the information through your website, or how would that work?
Yeah, what I've done, I mean, firstly, the simple answer is nothing's easy here. There's a moment when you contact Coinbase, a moment when you contact PayPal, a moment when you contact Venmo, a moment when you contact Stretto, who's the agent managing it, a moment when you contact Kirkland & Ellis, the UCC, and Celsius. So I literally had to put together a diagram of which support to get through in order to get the result that you're looking for. And so, there's a membership portal where I've got all the webinar recordings and slides and stuff. So I'll just walk you through this page. I took all of the questions and just explained in simple terms, because literally we had to read. If you were involved in this case following, there was over 4,000 documents submitted to solve this case. So I just put, here's what you need to know. Here's how over the next few years, you may be entitled to about 100% of the dollar value, not the crypto. You're not going to make back the 75% of crypto that's lost. But you may back the dollar value because you're entitled to a lot more stuff in the future. So that webpage, simondixon.com/club, goes through an overview of everything you need to do to make sure that you get everything you're entitled to.
Right.
And also it goes through anyone that wants to work with Bank to the Future to take delivery of their shares, take delivery of all of their crypto, and just everything that they're entitled to in the future, and then put it all in a tax system and all that type of stuff. So, but that's not available to Americans. If you are American, that's where I created a whole membership portal where it just gives you all the information to figure it all out on your own.
Gotcha. So that would be this right here, correct?
Yeah, go down to here, and then it will tell you everything you need to know, list all the things you're entitled to, list what happens. If you want to work with us, apply there. And if you don't qualify, because we can't work with US investors, unfortunately, because of the SEC, then there's a link there to a membership portal that will give you all the information you need to figure it all out on your own.
Gotcha. Hey, it is a tough case. Well, thanks for putting all the time and effort. That's for sure. And then what about this one, Simon? Ionic Digital, ex-Celsius. Now, as I understand it, some people are going to get shares into this new company. I personally would never do anything with this company, but I understand that some people will get shares. And I even put a tweet out. I said, hey, I hope this company works out great. Not because I want the company to succeed, but I want the creditors to succeed. But how does this working out for some of the people for shares? And because is this the Bitcoin mining operation that was supposed to be up over on Celsius?
Yeah. So let me share a bit about that. Right.
Cool.
First thing is to mentally, Celsius is gone.
Right.
No connection to Celsius. Celsius management, Mijinski is going to be facing up to 115 years. Everyone that works for Celsius that hung around, the company's going to be closed in February. The app's going to be closed at the end of February. Celsius dies a death. It is no more. But there is a bunch of assets that were bought with our money that we couldn't just sell in distress. And so some of those, which are, by the way, worth 100 to 200 million, some of them, like there's shares in Core Scientific, a publicly traded company that went into bankruptcy. And depending on how it emerges, that's worth about $69 million to us. There's a lot of stuff because a lot of investments were made with our money, long-term investments They had short-term obligations, a big bankruptcy hole. So we've got a team of venture capitalists, let's just call it Brick, managing those for us, and they will pay future distributions. Now, there's another company. Now, the company is brand new. It's called Ionic Digital. It's got a new management, and I've been asked to be a board observer. I just signed the contract for that. And because there was this dispute with Core Scientific, which, if you don't know, is one of the largest hosted mining companies in Texas, in America.
Right.
All of the big companies like Marathon, Riot, Digital, all those. Yeah, Majinski's going in later this year.
Yeah.
The t-shirt, the ETF there. A bunch of mining assets. Now, in terms of what it is, if you know anything about mining, there's new equipment coming this year that's going to kick the shit out of old equipment. But the key to a successful mining company is lack of debt. And as painful as it sounds, the money was owed to us, and we've lost the money. So we've now got a debt-free company that has about 12.7 exahashes, which would make it the second largest mining company in America, next to Marathon. And it's got slightly outdated equipment, but it's actually got a settlement of in Texas that it can now just plug all those machines in, and it's being managed by a public company called Hut 8, which is another public company. The form to be filed, to list on NASDAQ is in. The audit is complete, and in approximately 60 days, it will be approved to be listed on NASDAQ. Now, initially, there'll be a bunch of people that want to sell that. It's being valued at about 740 million, which, because it's got 225 million in cash, a bunch of crypto, a bunch of ASICs, and a bunch of assets. But me personally, I'll do whatever I can. I'm not on the board. I'm a board observer, but I'll do whatever I can to try and make that company successful. And it is actually a very significant Bitcoin mining operation. Bitcoin mining is a hard ass business.
I know.
It's a very efficient business. However, I hope the board is going to diversify into, other opportunities like staking as a service and all sorts of stuff. So there is a company that's got nothing to do with Celsius. And here's the thing. We've just got to get over the situation that this is a new company. And if it succeeds, which is a bonus, forget about it in your mind. But if it succeeds, then, some of the Bitcoin miners, they trade about 10x Bitcoin in terms of movement on the NASDAQ. They're highly volatile if you look at all the miners. And because we got Bitcoin ETFs and, Vanguard's, mining company ETFs and all that type of stuff, if the company can get going, Vanguard and BlackRock and their ETFs have to invest into it. And there's a chance that in the next year or two, that company can become successful because it's got a good foundation. But it's nothing to do with Celsius, nor the previous management or anything. It's a new start, new beginning, just took the assets and wrapped it into a new NASDAQ traded company.
Well, man, I hope it works out for other people and for the creditors. I really do. I just can't wrap my head around it. I can't do it, Simon. And then, you know how it is. But
that's the best way to think about it. You'll receive some shares and just sit there and see what comes of them.
No. Hey, so that was a good one. That was a good. So are they getting like mentorship from Hut 8 or something like that, or how's that working?
Hut 8 so we've got, as part of the Core Scientific settlement, we've got 240 megawatt location that can host up to 740 megawatts. And they won the contract to build it out and get the 122,000 ASICs plugged in and mining in our own location owned by us so that they're not hosted by others. So there's no dependency upon anyone else.
No, that's good. Yeah, because someone pointed out, they said, hey, don't forget Hut 8 CEO stepped down because of short selling. I don't know have you heard about this story? I was going to cover it a couple of days ago, but I got too busy. But yeah.
Yeah, there was this does happen. So, somebody put out it happens in the stock market where people publish very negative pieces and short sell the stock.
Yeah.
And it crashed the stock about 50%.
Damn.
And it was a hit piece on everything they think is wrong with Hut 8. Now, whether there's truth in it, fine. I don't know. I'm not here to say or speculate on. But it was a big hit piece, on the management and the previous companies. And yeah, it was an attack on their share price from a short seller.
Oh, yeah. This is what it was. It was here. Short seller J Capital Research released a report January 18th saying the company was a pump and dump waiting to happen. Ah, that's what it was. Okay. Well, that's
I mean, Hut 8, I'm not here to shill Hut 8, but they do have 8,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet.
Yeah, they know. I mean, if you're looking at just the pure technicals, you're right. I mean, they're a big company. They've been around, right? So at least they can show these guys like, hey, this is what you want to do. This is how you got to do it. I'd rather learn from somebody. No one wants anybody to. No one wants to learn. What's the term? Nobody wants to learn sexual aversion. That's what it was.
Bitcoin mining stocks don't make sense to me, but people use them as a leveraged Bitcoin bet and trade them.
I got it. Yeah. So some people in the comments are saying that things have been rolling out very positive. They're very happy. They're actually able to take things off. The healing has begun. How about you, my man? How are you? Because I know, if we're rolling out in the U.S., have you got anything yet? Because over there in Isle of Man.
No, yeah. So if you're not from the U.S., there's about 450,000 accounts. About 45% of them are U.S. 55% of them are non-US. Anyone from non-US, you have to have a Coinbase account with the same email that you had on Celsius. So if for any reason, right now, you should do this right away. If you have a Coinbase account, it's got to be in the same name. So you can't go from a retirement account to an individual account, or a corporate account to an individual, or your account to your wife's account, or anything like that. It has to be the same name.
Same on same. Okay.
Yeah. And then if you log into the Celsius app and for any reason, you go into the account setting, like your Coinbase account is a different email to your Celsius account, you can enter your Coinbase email in the Celsius app.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it will connect the two as long as you're the same legal person.
Cool. Perfect. Yeah. So I guess the last
question next week, over 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Hey, that's not bad.
They've distributed 10,000 international clients so far. And that was mainly convenience class, the small accounts. And they're just doing it bit by bit in case everything goes wrong. Did you see what happened with PayPal and Mt. Gox, Rob? Well,
we know what happened with Mt. Gox, but what about PayPal? I mean, no, you're talking about the distribution for Mt. Gox. Didn't was there a big collapse? I mean, it just didn't go through.
They accidentally did it bit by bit.
Oh, they got
too much. PayPal as a distribution partner and paid everyone double.
That's right.
One of the people withdrew double the Bitcoin. So it's like a typical Mt. Gox centralized database but through PayPal. Some of them, one of the creditors withdrew, and then the trustee had to reach out to them all, send your Bitcoin back, or we're taking you to court. And they said, I'll send it to you as long as you complete my KYC process and you wait 10 years.
I would, I tip of the hat. That's something I would do, actually, if I even reached out to them. But that's great.
I can imagine you doing that, Rob, and then publishing it on YouTube.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, it'd be on X first and then YouTube, because it takes so much time. All right. Okay. So Simon, what's the next step here? Is there anything else that we need to know moving forward about any kind of more distributions, anything else coming in the pipe, or this is we're at the end, essentially, or towards the end?
Yeah, the way to think about it is how most people are thinking about it. You come to terms with the 75% loss, do your taxes, figure out how that works. And then I believe there's going to be a bunch more coming, and there is going to be a bunch more coming, because there's even guaranteed distributions that are coming. And so, stay in touch on that membership site. I'll make sure everyone knows what's coming. And I'll be maximizing every bit of, every dollar that we can squeeze out of this thing. And I do believe in the end, you may get up to about 100% of your dollar value once all the litigation's done, the stock is issued. And again, that's not your crypto value. The crypto loss is locked in. But imagine, I'd say you may get about 40% of your crypto back in the end, which would be 100% of your dollar value back in the end.
Yeah.
So if you were in stables, you may even be made whole.
Stables. You mean like XRP? No, I'm just kidding.
But no, the reason is if someone had stables on Celsius, because we got the court to keep the Bitcoin and ETH, you're essentially trying to make back your dollar value. You've already got 56% of your dollar value back. There'll probably be another 45% to come. And you got essentially a forced investment in Bitcoin and ETH when it doubled.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, it sounds good. And Simon, again, thanks for doing all that. I mean, you did a lot of work. I mean, even when people were calling, the most ridiculous, it's the trolls are the loudest, right? They're like the 0.01%, and then the loudest out of everybody. And you have 99 point something percent are like, he's doing a good job. The other guys just, I'm glad they're gone. I'm glad they got wrecked. And I'm glad we can actually move forward.
They're still around. They got a new conspiracy theory, Rob. Let me give you a new conspiracy theory. Actually, it's pretty interesting.
This ought to be
Daniel Leone, this is real actually. Daniel Leone, the co-founder, he's got off of his crimes. Mashinsky's getting up to 115 years. Ronnie pleaded guilty, and so obviously he's like the Caroline in the FTX case. So he's the one that will be dishing all the dirt to make the real criminal Mashinsky come along. But Daniel Leone, his wife was VP of institutional loans. So she was the one that was in charge of making all the loans at Celsius.
Yeah.
And she works for the Israeli Defense Force at the moment. And Daniel Leone is actually got a new AI startup working for the Prime Minister's Office of Israel. And there's a reason why they're not going to prison. But the whole new conspiracy theory is that I planned this whole thing with SBF and the Israeli government. And that's the new conspiracy theory by the 10 people that like to retweet each other's tweets.
See, it's a funny thing because I also heard that those 10 people were sent here by aliens in a different galaxy, and they are here to essentially steal all of our life forces. If they want to make up ridiculous stuff, I can do it. I can do it all day long. I got a great imagination too. Golly, that's annoying. But they're trying to get Mashinsky off and make the world think that Mashinsky was the good guy, and he was so disruptive to the banking system that the banks had to take him out because what he was doing would have destroyed the fiat currency system. And he was out for the good people, out to serve and disrupt the banking system. Well, that makes no sense. So anyhow, that's good stuff, man. Thanks. I do like a good, goofy conspiracy theory, Simon. Thanks, man. All right, everybody. So we've been going live here for about an hour. Simon, it's almost 6 o'clock where he's at. I'm sure his wife is tired of him always working tirelessly. So I'm going to let him go and get out of here. So everybody, again, you can find the information that Simon was talking about on his website. There was original simondixon.com, then simondixon.com/club. And I just put the /club in the comment section or in the description as well. And then if you like good spicy memes and stuff, and of course, great information on what's going on with Celsius and new things in crypto, definitely follow him on X. Good stuff had by all. So Simon, again, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. And everybody, thanks for stopping by on a Saturday. I know it's not something that you want to do, but hey, we're finally getting to heal and get forward. And if you're here now, I think you're in the right place at the right time. Simon.
Yeah, just want to say, Rob, this will be the last broadcast we ever do on Celsius, and we use that name, onwards and upwards.
Cool. Sounds good. All right, buddy. Thanks so much. See you on the next one. Adios.